Hi, Ann Morphew here. At this point in my life, I'm blessed and maybe a little cursed that I have a lot of time to be able to support the things I want to do. And if that means a long journey and dive into what data visualization is and how to use tools, then that's where I go. This may be a little longer than some of the other displays. Part of it's just because I didn't know what I didn't know. The title is from a set of electric vehicle fueling station data. And so I'm going to call this You Can Teach an Old Dog New Tricks, DV using EV. This work first mentions my metaphor and intro to the data visualization topic. Then, because I'm a new learner to this, I had to go and find out what other sources are saying, and I visualized some of that data. Next, I have a couple of examples that I learned with a tutor to do Excel charts. And finally, I'm going to walk you through just an interesting little app because I've looked at several of them. And this app helped me visualize things, and it can make it prettier, but mine's not so pretty. First, I actually looked at other sources of information about motor vehicles. And you can see that Statista here has an interactive DV. When you went across the bars, this is a screenshot, it told you how many in 2020 we had in the United States. Some of these facts I'm not reading out to you. I'm just going to say that's a lot of cars, and some of them are electric vehicles. So globally, it's increasing. And you can see that it's come up about 64% since 2018 globally. And in the United States, we are still a little low there. Kuchta's chart indicates that China is selling a whole lot of them. And one of the articles indicated it's because they got the batteries. So it's increasing in the United States and the world. Again, this is Kopestinsky's from policy advice, and a lot of these sales are just getting bigger. So how are we going to get across the United States? We need fueling stations. Using some of the data I put into Excel and had help with my little statistician tutor. One of the suggestions was pick out the top cities by average latitude. So I did that and created a pivot chart. Doesn't have a whole lot of meaning, but I can imagine that it's the average latitude. The more the cities that have it by that latitude is Alaska. I put that into a PowerPoint slide, and then I thought, no, the graphic doesn't match. I mean, that's just the continental U.S., right? Well, it's just not, it's not showing Alaska. One of the things new learners do is eventually they start to recognize, hey, this doesn't fit, this doesn't work. So non-examples are important outliers. So we put a map with Alaska in it and then visualize it with the data below. This histogram from Excel shows that California appears most often for fueling stations, and that makes a lot of sense. You see that Tennessee is just above the middle there, and that will be important for my next step. So now we're going to go across the United States, particularly across Tennessee, to look at a few more data things. What would the data set reveal about the fueling stations? I've shown you other models. I've told you about my tutoring help to learn how to navigate Excel beyond my rudimentary skills. And now I'm going to show you, I'm going to escape from this and show you Tableau Public. It's one of 3 apps that I kind of said, oh my gosh, when I saw that video with the guy doing the coding, I thought I had a grasp of this project, and then I went, oh, I got a code? So I went looking, and Tableau Public was one where I drug the data in, and I couldn't figure out yet the making it pretty, but I was able to figure out some interactive stuff, even though now I know from my emails back and forth with Dr. Hartley, I've made this too hard. I'll give you a quick little rundown of my references for this particular project, and then we'll go to Tableau. This is Tableau Public. Ooh, see, that's, I'm not supposed to see that. You drag the data in from my Excel sheet, and of course it takes CSVs too. It has some tools and things, and I yet don't know how to make this into just the sheet. There's some great vizzes that are shown. This is the United States, and you can see that California has over, almost 15, it's over 14,651 fueling stations for electric vehicles. And so again, visualizations like this. Only this way, Alaska doesn't look like there's many up here at all. And we saw the latitude thing. So we could make some presumptions based on ones, but we want to make sure that we've looked at different sets to see if it works out. This one I did by zip codes. I pulled the zip codes in, and you can see that there's many more fueling stations here, electric fueling stations there. This sheet isn't elegant, but it does tell you the types of fueling stations that can be found. So if it's not a repair shop, if it is a bank, a brewery, a campground, all of those things are able to be found, and you can scroll to your state to find the types of fueling stations you would want. And it's just a matter of what do you pull to the rows and the columns, and then this little button, show me, says, oh, you have some right data. Well, you can make this kind of chart or that kind of chart. That's good. I am not endorsing this. It is a free app, but there's of course other ones you can get. I am saying it was a place to explore a little bit. So this is by state, and this is the types of places. This is meaningless to me because it just goes on too far. It doesn't really give you the numbers well, but again, sometimes you don't know what you don't know until you've messed around. Let's see. Again, scroll and hover over the top row to see what kind of thing. If you want an airport, an arena, here's where you can find those kind of places. A B&B, lots of them on this coastline, okay? And yes, you can over arrow and see more of the different types. Let's see. I am on slide 6. I said I want to go to 7. You can exclude things. So if I said I just want Tennessee, I can mark that only. And it can show me where in Tennessee the fueling stations are by the zip code. Again, lots of different ways to do this data. It will have other sheets as well. You can scroll through these things and have that marked. So, well, thanks for going on my journey with me.